And can you believe we're almost through, the 12 days of Christmas? Almost through. Not quite yet. Tomorrow will be the 12th day of Christmas. Tonight is the 12th night. Any great good thing could happen on the 12th night. And I'm knowing everybody has had a blessed, wonderful holiday season. And we continue on now into a great good new year because we're ready for it. And we know it's there for us and we're supposed to have it. And so we begin the new year here always going back to the fundamental principles and basics of science of mind, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. And I love the month of January because of that in particular. And so today we're looking at the thing itself. Now, anybody passing by our sign and looking at it thinking, what in the name of heavens is that? The thing itself, That could be anything. Well, that's okay. Get people thinking. The thing itself. When I first came into Science of Mind, I was sharing this morning, I thought, they can't do this. They can't be talking about the most important thing in life and living, the creator of it all, as a thingy. I mean, come on. We could do better than that. But the thing itself is a glorious concept for me now, because what we're talking about is something that is ineffable, indefinable, something we can't fully understand or grasp with our finite minds because it's infinite. We're talking about something that is nameless, because to name anything is to confine it and to lock it in and to make it small and to limit it. And we can't do that with the thing itself, which is life itself in capitals, which is spirit itself, which is infinite intelligence itself, which is the one power, the one mind, the one infinite being, the first cause, the creator of it all, which is the Alpha and the Omega, which is the omni-essence of everything, that which is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, that which is called by thousands of names. We would never run out of names for this thing called life, whether it's called Shiva or Brahman or Vishnu or whether it's called, Mitra, whether it's called Ra, or whether it's called Osiris, or whether it's called Isis, or whether it's called the Great Void, or whether it's called whatever. It's called by many names, and yet you and I cannot possibly name it. But the most important name for it is the name that you give it yourself personally, whatever name that is. And you will come up with your own sense and sensibility of it. The word God is not always a good word for everybody. Not everybody thinks highly or well of that word because of the way it was introduced to them back in the day. But it's an okay word for me. I have no opinion about it one way or another, but I do have my own word for that which is not nameable, that which is inexplicable, and I have several words actually, and it just depends on where I am at any given time. But as I was sharing this morning, my most favorite name for it is more of an experience than a word. And my favorite name for this thing called life is yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. It's so yummy. Oh my gosh, oh golly gee, I can't think of anything yummier. Not even chocolate, not even good chocolate, really. It's just beyond yummy actually. And that's the way I feel about this thing called life. That's the way I think in terms of this thing called life. It is yummy. I don't care what's going on in it. It's yummy because it is, and it lives in me, and it lives through me, and it lives as me. And as such, it gives me an infinite variety of possibilities that I can hone in on and decide to express and live in my life. Or I don't have to choose that at all. I can choose a life that is this big. Or this big. And all the various experiences in between. It's given to you and it's given to me to express that power and that presence that lives and moves and has its being in me and in you, however we so decide, however we so choose, however we so free it or limit it. The choice is yours and the choice is mine. And I'm knowing in this year our choices are going to be big and huge and deep and wide. open to that beautiful grace, that amazing grace that can turn anything around. Anything, it doesn't matter what it is, can turn it around, because I get out of his way and I stop everything and I stop trying to do it myself. I get out of the way and I let the power, I let the presence, I let the infinite intelligence within me have its way with me and take care of business, as only it knows how to take care of business, without me getting in the way with all of my doubting Thomas tendencies, all of my limited thinking, all of my doubting feeling, all of my questioning that this is there for me and I'm supposed to have it. All of my inability to give myself what life wants me to give through me into my experience. That's what the science of mind is all about. The science of mind is the science of mind, which leads us to the realization of unconditioned and unconditional love, which leads us into creating a peaceful heart. The science of mind is the science of life. It is the science of enlightenment. It is the science of wakingness. It is the science of God or self-realization. It is the science of at-one-ment and fulfillment. It's the signs of coming home to the great self that lives and moves and has its being in each and every single one of us. That's the science of mind. And it's an amazing spiritual philosophy when applied and allowed to seed itself in a way that brings forth great fruit. And when I came to it as science of mind, I mean, metaphysics I've always been interested in, but when I came to it as science of mind some time back in Hollywood, when I went to visit Dr. Bitzer's church, a religious science up there, and I sat down in that little church, and at the time that's what we were calling things, and 5 minutes into it, I knew I'd come home, and I knew that this would be my spiritual home. Until something else that was better presented itself, and as yet it hasn't. And so 5 minutes in, the tears are rolling down my cheeks, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness me, these people actually think the way I think. Didn't know that was there. They actually think the way I've been thinking like this for some time now, and here are people who think the same thing, and I thought it was just odd. Well, there are a lot of other odd people in the world too, it seems. And so I never missed a Sunday. I bought a tape every single Sunday. I listened to the tape throughout the whole week. Then I bought the next one and the next one and the next one. Never missed it. In those days we had tapes. And so I took the classes as soon as I could take the classes. I found it in October. I couldn't join up until January. Well, I joined up. I took every class I could take. I only took the practitioner's class because there was no other class to take. I only took the minister's class because there was no other class to take at that time. And so here I am now. And I feel a sense of great excitement and exhilaration every year as I get an opportunity to, really dive into the basic fundamental principles again, as I do when I teach the first year every year. Ernest Holmes said, the great thing about Science of Mind is I get to teach it every year. And so you and I can come into this awareness of what this thing is. Now, Ernest Holmes had no idea that he was creating a religion, never wanted to create a religion, no intention of creating a religion. But he said, if you're going to talk about Science of Mind as a religion, better make it a religion that is without opinion, that is without dogma, that is without fear, and that is without superstition, if that's what you're going to do. No dogma, no fear, no opinion, and no superstition. And that's a tall order, I can tell you. And it is, to me, a very sad thing to belong to a religion that frightens little children. And anything that frightens little children is suspect in my mind. And that's my opinion. I'm sharing with you. And so God knows I used to be scared out of the living wits would be scared out of us when I was a kid, you know, because we were going straight to hell one minute and then the next minute, holy God loves you, you know. I mean, well, what is it? Am I going straight to hell or am I going to go to heaven because holy God loves me? Make up your mind, really, you know. It's no way for a kid to live. And so as far as the state of grace was concerned, we were in and out of it like a yo-yo, you know, the revolving door, the in-and-out burger. One day I was in the state of grace, the next day I wasn't, because I had a black mark on my soul because I had committed sin. And I would be in that state of blackness and darkness until that was shriven and I went to confession and confessed my sins and got back into the state of grace again as quickly as I possibly could. And so that was all going on, but nevertheless, there was something in me, something in little Moira knew, this was a whole lot of codswallop, that God could not be God and a God of love and then damn me to the fires of hell, which my own mother wouldn't do no matter how naughty I was. How could God do that? And so there was something in me that kind of kept me saying, well, you know, hang in there, wait and see, hang in there, wait and see. And the whole thing fascinated me anyway, this whole thing called religion and spirituality and all of that. So, you know, between the jigs and the reels and all that happened in between all of that, here I am now. I'm very happy to be here and quite satisfied to be here in this community, in this spiritual center, in this teaching of science of mind, which Ernest Holmes says, the teaching of the science of mind is the teaching that Jesus presented to the world, not the teaching of organized Christianity, the teaching that Jesus presented to the world. Now remember, Jesus never knew he was a Christian. Never knew he was a Christian. Jesus was a Jew, but a Jew with a difference. He gave the Jews headaches and heartaches and all kinds of aches too. They didn't know what to do with this guy because he was a Jew like no other Jew had ever been before, and he had them all standing on their heads and thinking upside down and so on and so forth. So he was a nuisance to them, the best of them. He was a nuisance too. And he was a threat to the rest of them. And so the teaching, when he says that we present to the world as the teaching of Jesus Christ, he's talking about the universal principles that Jesus came to share with us. Number one being, do not do to anybody what you wouldn't want anybody to do to you, or do unto others as you would have others do unto you. But that's a universal principle that you'll find in all the great religions. The next thing that he had present to us was love, and love always, and love all, without exception. Forgive, and forgive always, and forgive all. Have faith in the creative power in the universe. Have faith in the Father, which is the original parent of all, first cause. Have faith, because he always said, your faith has made you whole. It is faith that makes you whole. I'm not making you whole. No one else is making you whole. No thing else is making you whole. Your faith makes you whole. And then another universal principle, the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is here and now, and that kingdom is within you. And seek you first that kingdom, and when you do, everything else is added onto you. That's all you have to do. Seek the great self within yourself, and the rest will follow. The rest will follow. And of course, the kingdom is the kingdom of consciousness. Because spirit is the life, the only life that lives us and everything else. Spirit is the power that knows. Spirit is the mind that thinks. Spirit is the intelligence that creates. And that spirit is within you right now, exactly where you are, how you are, and what you think and who you think you are. That spirit in all of his fullness and all of his magnificence and all of his intelligence is available to you because it's in you. But Reverend Moira, I mean, really, it's very hard to know something that's invisible or have a relationship with something that's invisible, something that you cannot see. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you can't experience it. Ask any blind person, any deaf person, They have their own ways of experiencing things that we experience. Their own ways, but they do experience. So a little thing I like to do every year is to get you to do that. Just do that. Wave your hand vigorously like that. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? Well, that's divine, infinite substance being that you're feeling when you do that. It's all around you, it's all about you, it's above you, it's below you. Now, take your hand to your mouth and blow into it. Do you feel that? Do it again. Do you feel that? That's the life force of spirit that you're feeling when you blow into your hand. That's the breath of life, the pranayama, the breath of life. And it's in you, and it came out of you and from you. It's around you, it's about you, it's within you, it works through you and as you. So whenever you want to feel God again and you can't get the feeling, just go, there it is. There it is. By Jove, I got it. I'm full of it. It's full of me. It's everywhere. And I could just get gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of that wonderful, infinite, divine substance, infinite intelligence itself, and make something great and grand and glorious of it through the way I think, through the way I feel, through the way I act, through the way I do, through the way I am in being. Absolutely you can. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people have done it. They're doing it today. Why not you? Why not me? It's available to us all, regardless. The beauty of Science of Mind is it welcomes all. Everyone can find a home in it. Everybody can recognize themselves here. And everybody can come to a center of spiritual living and be honored and be received as an individualized expression of life itself with its infinite potential. We're not all going to arrive with the same kind of living out of that potential. We'll be at different and various degrees. So consequently, we have to have great patience with each other and step back from judgments and step back from criticisms and step back from condemnations, that god-awful trinity that kills us. That's what kills us. That's what stops us. That's what blocks us. Our self-criticism, our self-condemnation, our self-appraisal at times, as well as that of others, because we have forgotten who we are and what we are and how we are and whose we are. It's wake up time, my dears. That's what the science is about, the science of wakefulness, the science of life. Wakefulness. What good is life if I'm not awake to it? If I'm not alive in it? If I'm not part of it, consciously and willingly and deliberately and intentionally in it, to live it. I'm in it to live it. That's what I am. I'm in life to live life, not exist through it, not to meander through it, not to groan and bellyache through it, but to live it, to sing it, to dance it, to be it in all that I can be. And I can be so much more than I am right now, and so can you. We can erase all the stuff of the past. We can change up the thinking in our minds, which will change up the feeling in our lives, which will change up the behavior in our lives, which will bring great blessings through and into our lives if we so desire. But remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me and no one and no thing else. I'm the only one that can give to me what my soul desires. I am the only one that can give to me what my soul desires. And it desires to know spirit as that unified, indivisible self. Unified, indivisible self. The non-fragmented self. The whole self. The full self. The great self, the self that I was created to be. So what you call yourself is very important. Even though life has called you mighty, has called you worthy, has called you great, has called you to the selfhood of yourself, matters not. What matters is what you call yourself and how you respond to what you call yourself. And that name is wondrous. The only name we have really to go by is the name that Moses came down from the mountain with. And he was told, tell the people, my name is I am. I am. I am, not I was, not I will be, but I am. Not a has been or a will be, but an I am. I am, that's who I am. That's what I am. I am. What does that say? It says, I am life. I am life is what I am. And life is for living. Life is for celebrating. Life is for enjoying. Life is to be participated in deliberately, intentionally, directly. That's what life is all about. And you and I are sitting on it most of the time. Don't let it happen. Don't let it venture out through us because of our small-mindedness, small consciousness, small perspectives. We need to shake it on up now and change that around and decide this is the moment now. Now is the moment. The only place you and I can decide anything is now. The only time anything can get done is now. Now, 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 now. Now. When you turn now around, N-O-W, you get one. W-O-N. To live in the now is to win. To live in the now is to win. To take your power, to take your intelligence, to move upon it in the now is to win. Let me tell you, next week we will have our box up there for you all to come forward with and put your intentions in for the year. I'm saying intentions, not goals. Intentions for the year. But they will mean very little, if anything, if you don't move upon them now. The longer you leave between the intention you have made and your time to act upon it, the less likely it's going to ever happen. But the possibility of it happening, if you move upon it immediately in some way, then you have the recipe for success and accomplishment. So what is it going to be, my dear ones, in this coming new year? In this coming new year, and remember, the new year is not one day a year or 1 month a year, January. The new year is a concept that you and I embrace every day of our lives. Every single day of our lives, we open our eyes into a new day. That's a new year. That's the beginning of a new year. It's the beginning of a new now, a new now. And remember, we're dealing with time, which isn't existent at all. It's just a human construct. Time and space, human constructs. There's no such thing. There's only, in spiritual time, outside of human time, is the eternal moment and the everlasting now. It's all one great big moment that you and I are living. We are living one great big now. But we have fragmented it into blocks and times and cycles and so on. And that's okay, because it's fun. I like cycling. I like the cycles. I like the seasons. I like all of that. It's okay. But I can enjoy an eternal summer every day of the year if I so desire, or I can stay in winter all year long if I so choose. It's up to me. So what is it going to be for you this year? What is it going to be for me this year? Am I going to take this beautiful teaching, this amazing philosophy of life, which is a definite way of being rather than a definite way of following a religion? It's a definite way of being how I show up in life and how I show up in living. Well, I'm telling you right now, you can show up as grand and as great and as beautiful and as magnificent as you so choose. And that's what I'm knowing for each and every one in this room this year, and so it is.
We invite you to experience Dr. Moira in person on Sundays. Our services are at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., and childcare is available. Please join us. If you enjoy these messages and would like to make a donation to our center, please visit our website at redondocsl.org. Thank you for your support of this ministry.